Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Grijalva and I'm our Group 3 Brx leader, and here is our presentation going over our project selection and our evaluation of each of our ideas. And I'm going to be sharing my individual idea, and we'll be adding on the rest of our group ideas in this video. Just to go over our criteria for evaluation of our projects, I wanted to do it on a scale of 1 to 5. So feasibility is our first category. Is this something that our group is able to complete within the span of a 16-week course, and is it within our capabilities? The next category is effectiveness. So is this something that's going to be useful in the workplace or wherever the environment that the application or the project is going to be held in? Is it going to be useful, and is it going to solve the problem that the client has listed? Scalability. This is just to see, like, is this something that is very simple, or is this something that is built for the long term and that can be expanded? External systems, this is a category I wanted to include just because it's nice to know if you need to be looking for access to different resources or systems, and if so, can you get the access? To go over my individual idea, my client is Brickmasters. It's actually my employer, and I work with them in IT, primarily with payroll and occasionally with accounting, but I can just do whatever they tell me to. And so my point of contact is the director of IT, one of my bosses, Steve Wable, and when I approached him about this project and working with our team, he let me know that there's a lot of problems with integration, and that's due to the fact that our payroll system, accounting system, and our point of sales that the stores use, they do not speak to each other. Like they aren't connected. And so one of the problems that we face, or the first problem that we face, is that because they're not integrated, there's a lot of human error. So everything is manually entered, and of course we have like Excel spreadsheets that help to automate some things, but there's always mistakes here and there, and that's something that we're really hoping to reduce. So one of the problems that we have is that our sales bonuses, they are manually entered. The data is pulled from our point of sale system, and payroll then takes that data, and we do our thing. So people get paid their bonuses from their biweekly sales. Excuse me. Another thing is that our labor we have this thing called flat rate employees, and flat rate employees are basically given a certain amount of jobs, and each job equates to a certain amount of hours, and they're given a higher hourly rate when it comes to their flat rate jobs and the base pay of minimum wage. So the difference is calculated between the minimum wage and the flat rate earnings, but I mean, I won't get all into it, but it is a process. It's very time consuming, and maybe I should use this laser. But yeah, so we basically take all of the data from the POS system, the hours that they book on their invoices for the jobs that they have. That's what we use to help calculate how much money they should be earning. And then, yeah, they have a lot of different conditions that have to be met. So if they have overtime, if they have sick time, vacation, etc., that all has to be taken into account. It's pretty time consuming. Another thing is for the accounting system, the daily sales data. Every store has that. They have all of their cash requirements, their credit card payments. We have this thing called Easy Pay, and a lot of times there are mistakes with an employee putting like a wrong amount, or they charge for labor when they shouldn't have. And so if we were able to integrate our daily sales data and put that into our accounting system, well, that would make it a lot easier for accounting to do their part in making sure that everything is accurately reported. So basically what I was wanting to do for this application for our project is I wanted to have an application that would pull data from payroll as well as the POS system, and we would calculate the labor cost and the pay for the flat rate employees based off of the conditions and the specifications that I listed earlier. I would have it create the biweekly bonuses based on the weekly sales. And then I'd want it to accurately report to the accounting system based off of what the stores have done in the daily sales. So going back to the criteria, let's see if it goes. Okay, there it is. All right, so for feasibility, I gave this a score of 4. I didn't give it a 5 just because I'm not exactly sure about the the amount of time that it'll take to get everything set up and like everybody understanding kind of what's going on, because even I don't know exactly all of the details. So it'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but I know we can do it if we are to use this one. And for the effectiveness, I said it would be a 5 because this would be really helpful for our company, just because there's a lot of headaches that could be avoided. For scalability, I give this a 4, just because there's certain ways that we could expand it, but I don't think that it would move on to being more than what it's made for. I think that if it is to expand, it's because the company itself is growing, so it might just be bigger with the data that we receive. External systems, I gave this a 3 just because there are a couple of different systems that we have to get access to and make sure that everything works properly. But I mean, I don't think it'll be a problem, and I've already talked to Steve. He said it's not going to be a problem. So maybe I was a little harsh on that one, but I just think that that is an obstacle that we're going to have to face. But it's something that we can get through together. So for the total rating on this project proposal, it totaled out to 16 out of 20. And I'm sure there's more ways to evaluate this project, but for now, that's kind of the score that I was going to give it. Alrighty, thank you, and here's the next idea.
Hi everybody, my name is Aileen Hernandez and I am project manager for the team The Brx. I am a receptionist here at RG & Sons Plumbing, and this is my idea for our proposal. My coworker, his name is Axel Medina, would be our client, and one of his responsibilities at our job is that he has to put together submittal packages. In the plumbing industry, a submittal package is all the fixtures that will be contained in a new construction. So, when they start to begin the plumbing for a building, they have to submit a submittal package, which basically holds all the fixtures that will be contained in the building. Now, the process to make a submittal package is long and tedious, and they're usually hundreds of pages. So our client, my coworker Axel, was hoping that we could create a way to kind of automate the process. We would create 2 databases, one for previous submittals and one for all documents, which is to say, once a submittal is created, it will be archived for future reference. So if another general contractor has contracted us to do some work, we can go back to their old previous submittal packages and kind of work off those. And the documents in question are just all the fixtures that would be included in the submittal packages. Within the submittal package, there is a table of contents and a cover page, and we would want this table of contents to be hyperlinked, so when you click on any one of the links, it auto takes you to that fixture in the document. And the whole thing should be exportable as a PDF for future reference, and so we can archive those submittal packages to our database. And it would be able to pop up without having to go manually search websites to go find a screenshot or find other references. It should be able to just be contained within the database of the documents. I think the scope of this project is feasible. I don't think it's asking too much. I don't think it is necessarily that complex where it would take us too long to finish, or I don't think it's not complex enough where we wouldn't have to think through the databases. I think it's a realistic scope of what we can accomplish within these 16 weeks. I think if we were able to create this project, it would be very effective in automating submittal packages for my coworker. I think it would do a great job of making a process that is long and tedious a lot faster and quicker and easier to use. My idea a lot. I like my idea proposal because along with the accessibility of my client, I think it's a very realistic scope of what me and my partners are able to handle. I think it's a very good solid foundation for adding more work once we get the base of all the databases kind of together logistically. And finally, I think it would be great to help my coworkers. And that was my project idea for the Brx.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ty Welch. I'm with Group 3, The Brx. So this is my potential project. There's a little place south of Tucson called Paws Patrol. It's in Green Valley. Obviously, they're the client. Um, I have a contact over there who volunteers. So it kind of gave me a little bit of a rundown what's going on. But a big problem that they have is the manual processes. A lot of pen and paper, which leads to these other 2 points. The animals don't get much exposure. They could potentially be there for weeks, even months, and even matching pets with adopters. So it's hard to get out to the people who want to adopt. So what I want to do is create pet profiles that'll have photos, breed, age, size for the user, and I want the user to have all their info and put down their preferences for what animal they want. So could make an algorithm matching up the animal and the adopter, because the animal might need some special accommodation. Adopters might want a certain age or size or a breed, so that'll make the whole adoption process a lot smoother. Even for the user, just put in an adoption application, then the shelters will filter through all of them a lot faster than they do right now. I'm not sure. I believe Jasmine went over the criteria already, but so the score to 4 right here, it aligns with, like, my group should be able to do this no problem. It's just the timeline, the only iffy thing, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Effectiveness, it makes adopting easier, which is always awesome. Scalability, security is the only concern, as the customer base grows. I think my head is blocking this. So right here it says the project might require like integration with external systems, like such as payments, info or not info, insurance, stuff like that. So that could potentially be a problem. So, yep, there's my potential project, and I believe we're selecting the project next. So.
Hernandez. And what you just saw was our brainstorming, and what we ended up going with was Ty's idea for Paws Patrol Green Valley, Arizona. So, the thing about this project is that we do not have an official client. We do not have official contact to any vets, any veterinarians. However, we think that the idea is fun, the idea is very feasible, that it has a really good scope, and that we could create a very solid foundation of what we want from our project on our own. So continuing forth, as per the criteria that we created, thank you, Jasmine. No. So first we'll begin with feasibility. So the project that Ty's proposing is not too complex, but is also still not too easy. There are things that we have to consider, such as the databases and the relationships between them and how they interact with each other. Some databases that we could kind of create are, does an owner have insurance? When was the last time an owner showed up to their vet? How many shots does this particular pet have? There's a lot of ideas to be created here to kind of think through our databases and how they will react with each other. We think the project is very effective. We think if we did something that we could bring to light, it would really help with the adoption processes. It would keep everything in order, like how we were saying, with the insurance, with shots, with records. It would keep everything in order. For scalability, like I said, there is no official client for this project, but we do believe that we have a pretty solid scope. We want in the future to be able to contact third parties, whether that be friends who have experience with veterinarians themselves, to try to tack on to more to our project. Now, we did say as of right now, external systems are not necessary, but that is only because we are functioning as our own client. As we incorporate more third parties and hopefully actual veterinarians with vet experience, we can kind of absorb the existing systems that they provide and how the existing systems that they use at their own work. We think this criteria sets a pretty solid foundation for our project. Of course, it will be kind of an uphill battle working as our own client. However, we are very open to trying to find actual veterinarians with experience, or people who own pets, people who go to the vet often, to see how they've observed systems to work. So yeah, in conclusion, the Brx have decided to go with Paws Patrol Green Valley for our final project. Thank you.